In this part, we are going to render the list when we detect there are some changes about added instead of just console to log the data. So at the top of on top of this function, we are going to create a render list. So we add the constant and then render list, and then we pass the document inside the functions. We should change this to function. And then since actually we are going to create a list by using JavaScript, so we copy this one and take as a reference. So we back to our app.js and we put it here and comment all this of code. And then first we create the list. So let li is equal to document dot create element li, and then there is a class name of collection item. So we have to use list dot class name is equal to collection item, and then list dot set attribute. We put the data ID, and this is a document ID, and which means after it render, it will have something like data ID equal to the data ID, which is document ID, and the document ID is this. It will create a document ID each time when we add some data here. So now after we create a list item, we are going to create a div. So we let div is equal to document dot create element and div, and then let title is equal to document dot create element and span, and we will add the title here. So the title dot text content is equal to dot data dot title, and after we create this title, we are going to create the anchor tag, because it will put the anchor tag first and stack over the icon. So we have to create the anchor tag first. So now we create the anchor dot document dot create element, and then anchor dot href is equal to model1. This is the href. So after we create the href, we have to create the class name, which is including the model trigger and the secondary content. So the anchor dot class name is equal to, we can copy this one, the model trigger and the secondary content. And after we create this anchor tag, we have to create the icon, and we will use this as a delete button. We are going to create this edit icon, and we will use this as a edit button. So we let the edit button is equal to document dot create element. Now inside the edit icon, we are going to add the class of material icons. So we need to use edit button dot class name is equal to, then we copy this one and paste it here, and then we also have to add the text edit. So we have to use edit button dot inner text equal to edit. And next we are going to create this icon. So we let the delete button equal to document dot create element of I, and then we also have the class name. So the class name also have secondary content, so we copy and paste here. And then we also have the delete button dot inner text is equal to delete. And then now we are going to combine all these elements. So the first is we are going to append this icon to the anchor tag. So we have to use anchor tag dot append child, and then we put the edit button here. And then for the div, we have to start appending the title. So we have to use div.append child, and then we put the span, we put the title, and next we are going to append the delete button. So we have to use div.append child, and we append the delete button, and then we are going to append this anchor tag because we already combined these two elements. So now this is the last items of the things inside the div. So div.append child, and we just put the anchor here. So after we create all the things inside the div, we are going to append the div to the list. So list.append child, the div. So we are going to add the event listener of the delete button and also the edit button. So the delete button dot add event listener, and then click, and then console.log delete. We are going to check whether it can listen the delete. We are going to check whether this works. So the next thing is edit button dot. Actually, we can duplicate this one, and then we change this to edit button. We forgot to add the class to-do list here. So we create a class of to-do list, so we can append the list item to the to-do list. So back to our render list, and on the top, we are going to get the to-do list by using constant. To-do list is equal to document.querySelector, and then to-do list, maybe we change this to ID. We have to go to render the list at these cases. So we are going to use render list and put the dot. So we change dot. And then we have to append the list. So we have to use the to-do list and then append the list item. So we save it and back to the website. Now you can see these two items, and when we click on the edit, it can pop up the model, and when we click on the delete, it can also pop up the delete word here.